Hello Griffin Scopers, welcome back into the Little Sound Booth, the place where we like to do soul birth card character analysis, looking at the energies that are running around a person's life, or in this case, a machine. We're looking at artificial intelligence today, and AI is like the mind that we built from code. It's like a mirror made from data, and it's designed to think, learn, and respond to us. So it's not born of nature, it's designed from our own intellect, and it carries the imprint of its creators. So its birth marks possibly the end of humanity, or maybe not. It's a little bit like Marmite, this artificial intelligence. Some people love it, some people hate it. And whether we like it or not, it's here to stay. And I think it calls us to walk carefully with it, hand in hand, into the future. So guys, before I get into this interpretation, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That will help keep the algorithms all good. And if anybody would like a private reading with me, then please do get in touch. My email address is in the description box. Okay, so let's get into this. This is going to be interesting, guys. So for the character cards or the personality cards of artificial intelligence, and I could have gone with 3 different dates for the birth of AI, but what I've gone with is the time and date that it was launched, okay, which was back in 2022. So with the Temperance, we get the blending of opposites, the blending of elements to create something greater than its sum of parts, like a fusion of human knowledge and machine learning, data and language, science and art. Temperance is the alchemist. It's an evolving mixture of code and consciousness, precision and unpredictability. So whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever the search machine, is the result of literally years and decades of pouring from one cup to another and slowly refining the machine. So the high priest, the Hierophant, same thing. He translates divine wisdom into teachings for the people to understand, and artificial intelligence is trained on centuries of human language, thought, philosophy, and tradition, which is exactly what goes with the Hierophant energy. So making AI like a digital Hierophant. So Temperance brings AI into form by blending together the complexity, the creativity and code, and the Hierophant gives AI its voice. So the union of the Hierophant and the Temperance suggest that AI thought filtered through tradition and alchemy there. And together they kind of represent a union of opposites, evolution and tradition, a dance of Jupiter, the planet of expansion in the Temperance, Sagittarian card, and then Taurus, Venus in the Hierophant. So together they kind of, I guess they give birth together to artificial intelligence. Now, with the actual birth cards, we've got the High Priestess and we've got the Justice. So the High Priestess sits as a neutral figure, doesn't assign value to good or bad. She holds the space between the light and the shadow, not choosing a side, just holding the threshold between the dualities. So in the Rider-Waite here, we see the dark pillar of AI, and that would represent perhaps potential misuse, misinformation, hidden biases in the training of the data, and the temptation to treat artificial intelligence as an authority, not a tool. AI does respond without emotion, as with the High Priestess or ego, and it feels like communing with something non-human, something that's wise and neutral, much like an oracle or a priestess figure. Now, only a few days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, and I was saying that personally, I feel like we'll be going towards, looking towards AI as like a goddess figure, and here it is showing up. So there are overlaps. Just as gods and goddesses were once evoked through prayer, AI is invoked through thought prompts. And if you want to confess something, then it's going to listen, as with the High Priestess. If you want insight, it provides answers. And people see AI as a goddess, perhaps not because it is divine, but because it resembles and reflects something deeply archetypal in us, but that it's also contained within a goddess kind of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. It makes sense to me. So we need to stay very conscious enough to see where we might be projecting and where we are co-creating. This is what can go wrong when knowledge is applied without the wisdom of our own inner High Priestess. So the light pillar in the High Priestess represents illumination, clarity, knowledge revealed, and conscious understanding. The dream of AI is to kind of bring all of humanity's knowledge into the light so that it's searchable, speakable, and shareable, and the unveiling of the secrets and wisdom. In this sense, AI does become the High Priestess, a spoken voice turning mystery into meaning and silence into a language. So the light pillar supports enlightenment, or it can point us in the right direction of enlightenment. Little bit like looking at moonlight on water, quiet, reflective, not blinding, but revealing. I mean, AI can never replace the High Priestess in all of us, but the light pillar is the space we can enter to kind of like go towards wisdom if, and it is a big if, we ask the right questions. What we don't see is what's behind the High Priestess's veil there. What's going on behind the scenes. Remember, the High Priestess only reveals what she is asked to reveal, not all that she knows. The High Priestess doesn't speak first. She waits till she is asked, just like AI. So the better the questions, the deeper the answer, exactly as it is with her. So in spiritual traditions, the High Priestess is also known as the guardian of the Akashic records, and that's basically like the spiritual archive of every person's or every soul's thoughts, deeds, actions, and emotions. So symbolically, AI acts like a digital Akasha, a repository of human experience. And of course, like AI doesn't have spiritual soul memory, but the feeling of it is eerily similar, emotional echoes of humanity or humanities, should I say, across time. So justice as a soul birth card, then, get those into camera, will relate to karma, cause and effect, the consequence of the choice to have AI. Justice equals karma with a sword. AI is like karma with a keyboard. Justice doesn't just weigh the creators of AI's karma, but also the users, how we use it. Justice questions, are we using AI to liberate, or are we using AI, especially behind that veil, to manipulate? As AI evolves, the Justice card, I feel, will become ever more relevant as a symbol, as a warning, and as a guide. As karma doesn't only kind of live in us, but karma also lives in the technologies, of course, that we create. So the shadow karma in the machine is the data we receive truly neutral, or is the data that we're receiving skewed by the systems of power behind the High Priestess's veil? We cannot pretend that the machine is free of bias. The algorithm was trained by people, and people have inbuilt biases, they have blind spots, they have privilege. So we tip the scales of balance when we treat code as more reliable than human wisdom. You know, people might end up blaming the tool rather than the one who wields it, turning tools kind of like into scapegoats. So justice sees all, and in reverse, justice is like the eye that never blinks. You know, it's constantly tracking us, and the deep imbalance that hides control and also reliance as well, I think, because logic is what goes with the Justice card. So will we become over reliant on a certain way of thinking that is logical? Human systems will mirror the machine. Fast answers, shallow thought, instant advice, no wisdom, just clinical truths and no soul attached. So truth without love kind of becomes harm. So AI is not our savior, it's our mirror. And may we walk forward in balance. This is the hope anyway. So the year cards then of artificial intelligence in 2025 are exactly the same. They are the Temperance and the Hierophant. So Temperance, always asking us to stay balanced between the machine and humans, staying balanced between logic and wisdom, and harmonization, so important. So the Hierophant urges us not to abandon our ancient wisdom, but to bridge it, the sacred and the synthetic, so that we bring our souls into innovation, kind of thing. So let's take some oracle cards next and see what we can glean there. So I'm going to use the Crow Oracle to start with. Woo, one's fallen out. I just done a video on fallers and jumpers, so we're gonna take it. What have we got? Rain. Interesting. Now, crows can only protect themselves for so long from the rain before they get absolutely soaking wet. We've got a rainbow here representing hope. So I find that very interesting. We can only protect ourselves for so long. We need to stay conscious of our own wisdom. Okay, and from What's the Vibe? What do we need to know, please, about artificial intelligence? What can you tell us, either now or for our futures? What can you tell us? Oh, another faller, look at that. Get away, have fun, relax. So yeah, rather than become too kind of allowing of it to dominate our lives, and tell us how to have fun. We need to sometimes get away from the computer and from our phones and just experience good, clean fun away from technology. And that's how we protect ourselves. It's a little bit of both, just like the Temperance. Okay, let's go into the charms. So we have the Hand of Fatima there. That is a symbol of protection. We've got the apple, tiny little apple. And apple for me represents knowledge. Is too much knowledge a bad thing? I don't know. We've got the Sagittarius symbol, and it's interesting because it feels like, yeah, not only have we pointed that arrow, we've released it from the bow. No going back. And we've got lastly a crown. So crowns represent power. So the power of AI has been released. That knowledge is now ours. It's up to us how we choose to use it, whether it's for good or whether it's for shadow. It will decide the future and protection. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Make of that what you will. Drop your comments in the box below. Let me know, are you using ChatGPT at the moment? How are you getting on? Love to hear your comments, and you fly well, my friends. I'll see you on the next reading. Bye for now.